Chapter 2, The Chance Traveler.
Once again, I had left the old factory, frightened and confused. And once again, I didn't have Sammy with me.
Shower and frequently can temporarily remove body odor. Good tip. As I waited outside of Michael's house for him to get his transfer cable, I couldn't help but be uneasy. I still didn't know where Sammy was, and all we had found was more mystery. Okay, dude, let's go upload these. My mom's on the phone, so if we want to go online, we'll have to go back to your house. Sorry about all the back and forth here. At least now you'll remember where I live. Yep, back then you had to choose between either going online or using the phone. Okay, I want to talk to some of the people here because I think some of the lines have changed because of the new chapter. I made so much money this month. Want to borrow some? Just kidding. It would be nice if there was a way to run faster, I have to admit that. Heading to Windtown soon? Hope that wasn't a spoiler. Tell my sister I said hi. Watch out for her left hook. I was totally wrong about that pawn shop. They sell all sorts of things. No, this is not a paid endorsement. I really do love it there. 1/1,000,000th. 2/1,000,000th. So one thing I did want to do before we actually go to his house is see if I can go to the store and buy anything new. Hey, the zine guy is back. Has your sister been around lately? That girl used to be the talk of the town. These days, seems like everyone's forgotten she even existed. Foreshadowing, perhaps? I came to visit your mother, but she seems to be working all sorts of odd hours. She works really hard. Be good to her. We'll talk to the old dude on the lawn in a moment. So, I don't know if you can get run over. That's interesting. Let's talk to Granny. My husband is so handsome, even in age. He's off with some young lady thing named Candy. They're always named Candy. You think they're so sweet, but really, they're just tramps. I could look into his eyes all day. Why don't you have a girlfriend, Alex? This girl is eating this crap up! Do you know if Aunt Cheryl will be my new mommy? That means I think this office doesn't even exist. In a bad spot in life and desperately need some quick cash? I'm the guy who'll rip you off and offer you way too little for your worldly goods. Oh, that's not you? I'd be glad to see you that guy's stuff. What can I do for you? Please, come in. Open your eyes. So, is there a way to see how these compare to what I have? Because this seems like it's new. They don't tell you if it's a camera or what, though. It's a little annoying that you have to hit the exit button on the menu. Anyway, before I shop there, I want to check out the other store, and then I'll hit up the pawn shop on the way back if it's actually the better deal. What will happen here? I called the cops weeks ago, and they still haven't ticketed this guy. Fran's husband's always going away on business. I'm starting to suspect something. Welcome. Okay, I see. So there's actually a symbol there that tells you what's what. Anyway, this is strength 1, defense 2. That's $100, man. Like, I can't afford both. And then I don't know if this keytar is actually for our new guy, because he would be in the camera shop, wouldn't he? Knowing my luck, I'll probably find that in chest coming up. So if you go ahead and buy it, you want to make sure you equip it. So we lose a little bit of strength, but we get some defense. Due to Alex sucking when it comes to damaging crap, I don't think that's really a bad deal. Then again, with so little hit points, it's possible that may literally mean nothing. Thing is, since this is Chapter 2, we're supposed to learn to level up pretty soon. So yeah, there's no symbol here. I don't know who uses that. Silver bracelet. I assume that'd be like an accessory. Real quick, I want to find if there's a camera store nearby. I don't remember where it was because I'm playing this on a different day than I did Chapter 1. Burger joint. Lives up to its name. My friend met a guy. Wonder what ever happened to me. I met a guy. He's tall, handsome, and a jock. But my dad doesn't like me dating a guy from Windtown. He says it's the wrong side of the track. Cue Billy Joel anytime now. This weight loss stuff is easy. Stay off the beer, burgers, hot dogs, and general happiness, and it's easy to lose weight. You can do it too, kid. I want it, but I cannot afford it. You wouldn't understand. Huh? Yeah, what the guy says reminds me of that old joke. If I remember in a moment, I'll tell it to you. I'm not stealing. Go away, hipster scum. Come on in. Yeah, I think that's the one I'm using now. Even still, I can't afford it, so it doesn't matter. Guy goes to his doctor and asks him, "Doc, what can I do to live longer?" Doctor asks him, "Well, do you smoke? Do you smoke?" Guy says, "No, I don't." Doctor asks him, "Do you drink?" Guy says, "No, I don't." Doctor asks him, "Do you go to any wild parties or anything?" Guy says, "No, I don't." And doctor asks him, "Well, why would you want to live that long then?" Things to think about. Do you know how to get to the park? All the old guys say the park is the place to be. Don't do that in real life, kids. Hey, how's that magazine coming? Oh, it's great. Got all the stuff written. Mostly. Well, it's more of a bunch of ideas floating around inside my head, but it's coming together. Should finish issue number 1 any day. Okay, cool. So, like, next month I should be able to pick it up? Yeah. Okay, yeah, next month. Video games are not a waste of time.
While we waited for Michael's camera to transfer the photos, we began to talk.
I was talking to my cousin about this recently. The lifelong implications of seeing something actually, undeniably supernatural. Specifically, your reflection doing something that you were not doing. He has a 6-year-old daughter. She's really precocious. Apparently, she told my cousin that when she looked into the mirror, she was smiling, but that she knew she wasn't smiling. When I thought about that, I knew it would destroy any respect you had for the rules of life or the boundaries of what could happen. I asked him what he said, and he just shrugged his shoulders and said, kids say weird shit. I pushed him a little bit on the subject later on after he had a few drinks in him, and he said that it scared him to picture his daughter and another version of his daughter in the mirror, smiling, and the other looked so miserable. He told me that his wife said his daughter was just confused, that she probably felt sad but was smiling from having fun playing. So inside she wasn't smiling, but outside she was. Maybe she couldn't understand what it meant to look happy outwardly, but feel inwardly depressed. Like as if her vocabulary wasn't enough to express depression. But I don't know. She is a smart kid and somehow it felt wrong.
Her reflection smiled at her? That's really creepy. Have you ever had any other experiences with paranormal stuff? Like before?
Not really. I've always had a bit of an interest in it. I always thought that these sort of things follow certain people around. Like there's something that picks a particular person and forces them to see all the weirdness that others miss out on.
You just say that with a lot of affection.
I don't know. It's just kind of been my thing for a while. Conspiracies, ghosts, missing people, things like that.
When did you first get into this sort of thing?
I can't remember one thing that really pulled me in. My parents always fell asleep watching TV. I used to sneak into their room and watch those missing persons shows while they were sleeping. Once your mom finally got internet to Frankton, I started checking out some of the more paranormal websites. Before long, I realized that the information was too scattered. I spent a few weekends learning HTML, and before I knew it, Onism 1999 had over 15,000 hits each week.
Wait, you were involved with making Onism 1999?
You didn't know that? I figured that's why you kept talking to me about the missing Asian girl.
No, I just needed to get all that off my chest. Look, Michael, I need to be entirely honest with you, but yeah, just promise me you won't think I'm insane or anything.
Okay, fair enough. What did you lie about?
I met the girl who went missing. Her name is Sammy. I had followed a cat into the abandoned factory, and I found her there. She had been looking for her cat. I just assumed the cat hung out there and she'd gone in to try and find him when he didn't go back home. But the thing is, she said some really strange stuff. Stuff about living in the factory, pretending not to know what elevators were. Well, okay, maybe not pretending. I think she really didn't know what they were. There were weird gaps in her knowledge that I had interpreted as her being quirky, but now I wonder if there was actually something really wrong with her.
You saw her yesterday, right? So you saw her after she went missing? That's actually a good thing, Alex. This means she wasn't taken by some serial killer or a rapist.
It means she was swallowed up by a being made of stars and planets. How is that better?
Fair enough. So what was her last name? Did she tell you that much? Maybe we can check online for a missing persons report. You could call the police and tell them you know where the video was taken.
I don't know. There still is a part of me that thinks that, like...
What, that you dreamed it? Dude, I don't know. That would be a pretty specific dream. So you think you went into the factory, came home, and then had a really realistic dream where you met a missing girl you hadn't seen before?
But... you see, she didn't exactly look like the girl in the video. There was something skeletal about her appearance. Something otherworldly.
Otherworldly?
Yeah. Dude, just forget I said it. Did the pictures upload?
Yeah, let me pull them up. How is this possible? They completely distorted the photos!
Okay, I have to call out his expression here. That is so messed up.
Holy shit!
Okay, well, yeah, this is pretty otherworldly.
It was as if someone had cracked an egg over my head. What trickled out was hot dread, a feeling of pure anxiety. All of my fears were confirmed. What I was experiencing was real. There was no doubt about it. We uploaded the photos to Onism 1999 and waited for an explanation. We had our doubters, but more people wanted to believe than not. And with each reply, Sammy got pushed further away from the forefront of the discussion. I explained how the building was the same one from the elevator girl video, but everyone was more concerned by the creepy figures in the photo. Each time my little mailbox turned red, I slowly realized that everyone on this forum wanted the content to be true. They needed it to be. A few people tried to explain why the photos were distorted, but most people believed it to be ghosts, or the devil, or other stupid things like that. I considered myself something of a philosopher in college. I thought I had answers, but now that I've come face to face with the otherworldly, I know now that every person who tells you about spirituality, dead people and all that have no idea what they're talking about. Someone told a lie and it somehow stuck. I told the truth, and it just gets muddied up by that same ancient myth. With the exception of my post, most of the things on that forum seemed like lies. That wasn't until about 2 weeks after my post, when a user posted something about a girl who could rip holes in time and space. I wouldn't have believed it myself, but he had photos. And we had seen the girl before.
So you realize we've seen this chick before, right?
Oh, really? Where? Wait.
Knew you'd get there eventually. It's that old lady from the arcade.
Jeez, enough of that old crap. She's probably our age.
Don't lump me in with you 20-somethings. I have a bright future ahead of me.
Oh, if only you knew. Just wait till you're done with college. You'll be...
Boring and fat like the rest of your graduating class? I'm looking forward to it. In the meantime, I will continue to be my interesting, slim, nubile self.
Nubile?
I stand by my statement. Anyway, let's take another look at those photos.
Wow. It's just so unbelievable. What is the likelihood that this is a thing?
It's incredibly unlikely. But since we've got nothing better to do, let's say we visit Ye Olde Arcade for some air hockey and interview an interdimensional traveler.
So I want to take a look around here to see if anything changed. It's been 2 for years. We should really wind this up. Sadly, since they went through the story about the girl in the mirror so quickly, I didn't get to tell my little story here. Technically, it's not mine since it came from online, but... Tell me if you guys have heard this one before. Father walks into his little girl's room and he sees her cowering on the bed. He asks her, "What's wrong?" The girl says, "There's a monster under my bed." The dad says, "Okay, let me take a look." So he gets down on his hands and knees, looks under the bed, and there's his daughter curled up in a ball. She says, "Dad, there's a monster on my bed." That's what that reminded me of. Have I checked over here yet? Yes, I have. So here's Ye Olde Arcade.
So, you gonna talk to her?
Are you kidding me? That's totally your job. Just man up and say something to her.
I don't think I should. It'd be, good for you to learn to talk to girls before you go away to college.
I know how to talk to girls. But she is a senior citizen, man. What is she, like, 27? Ew. That's your thing, man.
I told you to cut it out with the age crap. She's probably no older than 24. And besides, aren't you the nubile one? You're much more desirable.
Yes, that's true, I am.
Listen here, boys. We have a zero creeping on women policy here. If you'd like to ogle some women, I'm sure your mothers would love it if you were home in time for supper.
It's not that. It's just we have this photo of you that
You've been taking photos of me? Wow. You guys are even more screwed up than I thought. Can't say you'd be the first pervs I've thrown out of this place.
Did you leave the stove on? Sometimes I leave the stove on. And there's the keytar. Mysterious Vela appears. Floats like a butterfly and stings like a bee. What the hell is this? 6 damage. Later. Okay, so that's what it looks like when you try to run from one of these. She's level 5. One point of damage. There should probably be a seizure warning on that. So that's an AoE type move. Good to know. Well, we had a good run, guys.
Okay, we give in. Just ease off. We didn't mean to be creepy.
Then why were you taking photographs of me?
Hey, we didn't take the photos. Someone on the internet did.
Someone on the internet? What are you talking about?
If you'd stop slamming our heads together for 1 minute, we'd love to explain.
Okay, explain.
There's this website where people post conspiracies and other weird things, and there's this photo of you, like, exploding things with your mind.
Exploding things with my mind. I haven't done that in a while, so I'm sure it's an old photo.
So you're not denying that you can do that?
Of course I can't. This goes against all the better judgment I have in me, but can you take me to a computer to show me these photos?
Yeah, sure. I live like 5 minutes from here.
Do not follow strangers, kids. As she is saying, that is a bad idea, and I did cut off one of her lines because I wasn't looking to see if she was actually done talking. I wonder if he knows. Do you think he knows? I'm pretty sure he does. Oh god, I hope she doesn't know. So is Vela actually in the... No, she's not. So I'm assuming there's no fight coming up, otherwise I have to run to the park to go to the fountain and heal up. Here we just have to worry about oncoming traffic. So what's the rule? Are you supposed to go with or against traffic? I can never remember. It looks like we beat the car. She'll also mention the inverse of what I told you is true. You don't want to bring strangers into your house either.
Well, that's me. Just, I don't know when these were taken.
How exactly do you explain all the blowing stuff up with your mind things? Can you really do that?
You mean you can't?
It's not exactly with my mind. I use sound. Remember when I kicked your ass earlier? I used the sound of my keytar to deal physical damage. If you study the physical properties of sound, you can learn enough about acoustics to both heal and damage objects orally.
Where did you learn to do something like that?
Oh, years of private practice and studying, really. So tell me more about this website. What is Onism 1999?
Basically, it's a place on the internet for people to talk about conspiracies, the occult, and anything supernatural.
Seems like something boys would like. Do you recognize the location from these photos?
That's behind the old grocery store. Obviously, you've been there before.
Interesting.
What's your name, by the way?
My name's Vela Wild. It's interesting to meet you. I'm guessing you're a cameraman, and this is your sidekick, Ginger Boy?
Usually I go by Alex. Only my mom is allowed to call me Ginger Boy.
She really gets us. You really would be my sidekick, Alex. Cameraman by day, Michael by night.
Right. So, why do you two spend all your time on such odd websites? Do you really believe this stuff?
Michael and I spent the next hour or so recounting the events of me finding Sammy, and us running into the star creatures inside of the old factory. As we told the story, Bella just looked into my eyes and never reacted. I first began with trepidation. As I went on, I could tell she was doing her best to understand my story. Something felt familiar about her. But not in the I've met her sort of way. Something deeper. I dated a girl in college who was a women and gender studies major. She told me that she believed men and women were all the same at our core. That we were all made of the same elements. Not just on a physical level, but in a metaphysical level. She was a strong believer in spirituality, although she'd be the first to tell you she was religious. She told me she believed everyone had soulmates, plural. A series of people we were compatible with. In her theory, this applied to friendship, as well as romantic relationships. She said that when the universe was created, all matter was one object, and that since we're all matter, we are all the same. She said that she believes our soulmates were cut from the same section of that initial piece of matter. That unexpected feeling of familiarity you feel when you meet someone for the first time means you were meant to meet. I personally didn't believe it. I still don't think she has all her facts straight. But every time I feel what I felt when Vela looked in my eyes, I thought of this explanation.
Did you manage to speak with the entities?
The entities? I guess you mean the star creatures.
Yes, those are the ones.
No, we were too busy running for our lives.
Did you try and take photographs of them, Michael?
Yeah, let me pull them up.
Vela told us things. Confusing things. Things that, under normal circumstances, I wouldn't have believed. The way she spoke seemed two-sided. As if for a few moments, a side of her that she was trying to keep hidden was visible. And as soon as we noticed, she made to cover herself up. She made jokes more often than she was serious. But when the serious aspect of her personality appeared, I was convinced that's who she really was. This was almost more fascinating than the information she was giving us. That's the thing with people, isn't it? You could show them all the mysteries of the universe, but if they're distracted by the human element of the tale, they'll shift all of their attention there. Self-consumed with humanity. Self-consumed with other people. You know? That's just how people are.
My experience with them is limited, but what I've observed was powerful. I understand that what I'm about to tell you will sound like a lie, so I ask you to look past the words I'm saying and hear the truth behind them. A short time ago, I entered into a dark place, both physically and metaphysically. While I was there, I encountered the entities for the first time. I can't say what about their presence was so striking to me, but the moment I saw them, I felt something. Something that was weighted. Like their bodies took up the entirety of the room, as if they were the room. At first, I approached one and we spoke. However, the contents of the conversation isn't important to the story. Something I said upset it, and it tried to grab me. It was almost like a mother trying to smother its child. The pain was beyond description. It scared me to death. The entity was incredibly heavy. I managed to break free, but the weight of the thing remained on me. And for the entirety of the following week, it was as if someone was twisting a drill inside me. My head would throb, and the pain felt bone deep. You probably can't imagine what it was like, you two, but just the thought of the pain now brings tears to my eyes.
I reflected on her story. I wanted to reply, but something inside me told me to let the words hang in the air. It was as if the longer the pause between her words and mine, the more truth they carried. Finally, I spoke.
That's horrifying. But can you explain what you mean by entered a dark place? Or more importantly, physically and metaphysically? I can understand doing it physically and mentally, but I need some help with the meta part.
Metaphysical is a word, an adjective to be more specific. It means pertaining to or of the nature of metaphysics. Metaphysics is the branch of philosophy that includes the first principles, includes ontology and cosmology, and is intimately connected with epistemology. Epistemology is, of course, a branch of philosophy that investigates the origin, nature, methods, and limits of human knowledge.
Thank you for the definition, which I already knew. I was looking for something more concrete, more tangible.
I'm afraid that's all I feel comfortable telling you. I don't know you at all, and to reveal something so personal seems like I'd be opening myself up to vulnerability.
Do you mean to imply that you found a way to exist inside of a metaphysical space? That you...
Enough! I don't need to talk about this with you. It makes me uncomfortable. Don't you get that?
Okay, sorry.
I didn't mean to piss you off.
Look, I need to get back to the arcade. I was technically in the middle of a shift. I'm gonna write my number down. Call me if you see any more interesting comments on my photos, or have a run-in with the entities.
Wait, I have one more question before you go.
Alright.
How did you get to be so powerful? You
took both of us on and barely broke a sweat.
You act as if that's impressive. Look, I've trained myself in the metaphysical space, inside of the mind dungeon. I like you two, so I'm gonna let you in on a little secret. Here is one last number. Call it if you ever want to open your mind and expand your battle abilities. That's all I'll say for now. The guy on the other end can explain more.
And with that, the Mind Dungeon is now available. You can access the Mind Dungeon from any phone. This location is vital in developing your party's abilities. Do not neglect to visit here often.
The way I look at it, we have two things we need to do. If we want to hang out with Vela again, we're gonna need to train ourselves.
We should be at least level 5 before we call her.
Also, if we want to call her, we're gonna need to search Onism 1999 for some interesting posts.
Okay, simple enough. Go grind and then give Villa a call.
Yeah, but don't forget to search Onism 1999 for some good posts. She'll probably hang up on you and kick our butts again if we don't have anything cool.
Man, are we even cool enough to hang out with someone like her?
Nope! I'm still growing, and you're an overgrown man-child who can barely pick up a record. So let's head out of Frankton and try to find some things to beat up.
Sounds good. Should stock up on some healing items at the burger joint before heading out.
I'm betting you this is a telemarketer. So help me, this is a telemarketer. I'm gonna go ballistic.
Hey! Just calling to see if you figured it out. I would love to just come out and say it, but I think it would scare you to death. And that would ruin everything.
Only one way to find out.
Nope. I haven't figured anything out. Look, if you're just gonna keep calling me and say vague, creepy shit, you should at least tell me your name.
Ah! It's your best childhood friend. Think back to when you met me. We were kids. I think Losing My Religion by R.E.M. had just become a big hit. My mom didn't want me listening to it because she was afraid it would turn me into a bad kid or something. I went over to your house and we listened to it on your stereo for hours. My mom came to pick me up from your house, heard the song, and freaked out. How can you not remember that? It was the funniest thing.
The story was so specific. It sounded so familiar, and yet I couldn't place it. It was like I had read it in a book somewhere or watched it on a TV show. But still, no particular name or date came to mind.
Yeah, you're right. You probably wouldn't remember that. Look, I'm going to keep calling you until you remember me. Remember what you used to say. Everything happens for a reason. That reason is nothing happens for any reason.
What a weirdo.
Encourage your friends to level up? Nah, they're good. So friend you are. Michael is now level 2. So he got a surge of defense there. It's nice to encourage your friends. Sure.
Excuse me. No, seriously, I'm fine. Please don't fret. I'm Marlene, although that's just the name my parents gave me. Please call me Crow, although most people just call me Kay. You look confused. May I ask why? Oh? You don't say.
Yep, we've never heard a talking crow with that accent before.
Please forgive my rudeness. I don't mean to pry, but I can't help myself. Welcome to the Dungeon of the Mind. I imagine this is your first time here. Ah, I see. I see. Where should I begin? Well, first I should begin by saying in the fight between you and the Mind Dungeon, back the Mind Dungeon, For all intents and purposes, the Mind Dungeon is the only thing that truly exists. Everything else is just shattered fragments of time and matter floating in the soul space. Remember to save often. One advantage in keeping a diary is that you become aware, with reassuring clarity, of the changes in which you constantly suffer. Plus, it's never fun to lose progress. Well, good luck. I've often said that it's comforting to reflect that the disproportion of things in the world seems to be only arithmetical. I'm not really sure what I mean by that either. Lastly, in my pseudo-philosophical rantings, I forgot to mention something vital. You may have heard this in a distant dream, but I feel like I should remind you. When you kill an enemy, it's dead forever. Killing enemies gives you experience points. Spend those experience points to open doors inside the Mind Dungeon. Remember though, you can decide not to kill any enemy and avoid the battle altogether. However, doing so might not be wise all the time, since you'll want to find experience points to spend on character upgrades.
The base is screwed up in this window.
What will you do? I imagine that, yeah, that's where you exited also. So we'll drop a new save file here just in case anything happens to this one. Commencing save, yada yada yada.
The base is screwed up in this window.
What's that? You can't be bothered. Should I just choose for you? Nah, that's fine. So I'm assuming this is a multiplier. Select an attribute. So you're supposed to put a lot of stuff in his strength stat, I believe. Enter room. Alex found strength icon. Alex's strength increased by 3. So that one's locked out. Found defense icon. So this one I'm gonna put in HP, because I want to put the multiplier in my luck, I think. If you wish to level up, it'll cost you 100 EXP. Would you like to level up? Sure. Only you can describe how you'll grow from here. Choose wisely. Michael is now level 4. Alex is now level 2. Alex can now customize his stats inside the Mind Dungeon. What would you like to do? I don't know what's in here, so let's check this one first. Skill icon. Time energy. Okay, I cannot open my, So I get 2 if I put this in luck, eh? Luck is used for the accuracy stat, I believe. I mentioned in the first video that they don't really do a good job telling you what stat is what exactly. Not really interested in doing the whole PP, whatever those points are supposed to be exactly. This one, I think I am going to put it in defense. Actually, no, change attribute to health. If you wish to level up, it'll cost you 100 EXP. So I don't know if I paid any EXP to level up, what's his name? That would suck a little bit. Alex is now 3. So these are all flat amounts. I'm wondering if there's something below the speed stat because there's the question mark there. Yeah, we'll put that one into strength. I don't know what's optimal and what isn't. Luck plus 2, what? So if I put this in speed, what happens? Huh. Can I get down to the next floor or am I out? Alex is now level 4. No. Okay, so you can't go up to the previous floors. So this is another skill, I imagine. Smooth jazz. So 213, 213. I don't know what determines how you get these bigger bonuses. And it looks like for the rest of these it doesn't matter as long as one of them is luck. Those are locked out, so you can never go back in them. I think I'm gonna go try to pick a fight somewhere, and then we will come back and try to finish the mine dungeon, so I'll see you in a second. Okay, so I got to test the mind energy, and now I know. So let's go down to the next floor. I haven't tried out his other skill yet. If you wish to level up, it'll cost you 100 EXP. Would you like to level up? Sure. So I don't know if there's like if the EXP scales down or how that works exactly. Just be aware that Mike is now level 5. Alex is also 5, and then we have to customize his stats, yada yada yada. So all these look effectively the same. Except we can get a ton of speed. I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing, to be honest. Ultimately, with strength, I'm trying to get 2 damage per hit on the combo meter. I don't know if that's actually gonna work, but hey, we're gonna try it. So, real quick, skill-wise, smooth jazz, puts the target to sleep, takes all my points. Which level up will it cost you? No. I was hoping I could leave from here, but it looks like I have to walk all the way back. Jeez, game. If it takes more than 12 steps... And I clicked the wrong button. So I was contemplating put a break in the video here, but we'll go forward a bit more. Exit. I'm by the arcade now, in case you're wondering, because I went outside to fight and play with time energy. So we need to find stuff on the computer. I don't know if I already found the important thing that we need or how it's going to work. It's just, we'll play it by ear.
I don't know about you, but I feel stronger. I think you can see my biceps now.
Hell yeah. I'm not really worried about how I look. I'm more concerned about how I feel.
Yeah, you would say that.
Ignoring that, you think we're strong enough to call Vela up?
Probably not. But might as well give it a shot if we can find anything good on Onism. Have you logged on today?
Here we go. The moment you guys have all been waiting for. I didn't think this would be a
Michael.
scene.
Check this out. Someone sent me a PM.
Hey man, I saw your post about the elevator girl in the factory she went missing in. My sister vanished a few weeks ago and there were some screwed up things with her disappearance too. If you're interested in checking out where she was last seen, you should come to Windtown. It's the east of the factory the elevator girl was last seen in.
So what do you think? That's interesting enough to bother Vela about?
Yeah, probably not bad.
I wanted to go back on Onism and look at all those posts I didn't do the last time, but fine, we'll call Vela. Alex dialed Vela's number. Ring, ring, ring.
Hey Vela, it's Alex. Some kid sent us an email saying his sister vanished.
Really?
Yeah, said it was similar to the elevator girl's disappearance.
Okay, and he wants us to come check it out? I'll meet you at the Frankton bus stop. That's the best way to get there without a car.
You want to leave now?
Yes. I don't have work till tomorrow afternoon, so it would be best for me to do it today so I can get some sleep.
Fair enough.
Oh, and Alex, I thought you should know. The elevator girl has a name. Her name is Semi Park. I was able to get some information on her. I'll share it with you in person.
Semi Park, huh?
Nothing to see there, folks. Anyway, I don't know where the bus stop actually is. Whee! So, oh, that's where we came in at, wasn't it? So that means it's right here.
Okay, you boys ready? I got us the tickets already.
Good, because I'm broke.
We just take this bus to the first stop outside Frankton, and then it's just a 4-mile walk to Windtown.
4 miles?
12 steps!
That's pretty far. Shouldn't we just call a cab?
If you'd like to pay for it, go ahead.
We could always call your mom.
No. Walking's fine. It's, good for your body.
Vela has joined the party.
When we sat on the bus with Vela and began to talk, it felt as if she was a different person. The edge to her personality had dulled a little bit, and she seemed almost happy to see us. We were just leaving Frankton when she told us what she had learned about Sammy. Sammy Park. was a 23-year-old Korean American who had moved to Frankton from the city. She was an only child and lived with her mother until she moved to Frankton on March 2nd for her job. She was some sort of legal cleric and hadn't even begun working yet when she vanished. Apparently, the organization she was going to work for does a public TV Korean news show. The friend who got her the job did the reporting. The police have no leads. It is currently being treated as a missing persons case.
Where exactly did you find out all this?
I read about it in a Korean newspaper.
Are you Korean?
No. Do I look Korean?
It's hard to say. You look vaguely ethnic?
Really? That's what you're going with? Maybe it'd be best if you just didn't mention race again. Somehow it comes off so awkward when you do it.
I just meant, like, you know, exotic. None of the other girls around here look like you.
Stop. Please, just stop. This is seriously uncomfortable now, Alex. Anyway, my boss at the Frankton Arcade is Korean, and he always keeps newspapers around. I saw the picture of Sammy and asked him about the story. I called the police and asked them if they'd seen the video, and they said that the detective in charge of the case would get back to me shortly. This was 4 days ago. I find it unlikely he ever will.
I'm not surprised, really. It's almost like no one cares that she's missing.
I'll check through more newspapers, though, see if there are any leads.
Might not be a bad idea to try and talk to the woman who reported her missing after we visit the guy in Windtown.
I didn't say it at the time, but something felt off. The Sammy I met was strange. She didn't seem like the kind of girl who could have grown up in a city, moved to a small town, and worked for a television station. People who don't know what elevators are usually aren't capable of such tasks. My Sammy, and Sammy in the newspaper, may have looked the same. There was a difference there. I could feel it.
Holy cow. So, how far are we again from Windtown?
Not too far. 4 miles northeast of here. We don't need to cross any more highways, so if we approach one, we're going the wrong way.
Okay. Let's do this.
Okay, so to wrap up the video, we'll put a paper bag on her face, give her a graphic tee, and we actually have a gold bracelet. What? I do not remember getting this. But hey, we'll give it to her. Strength-wise, Michael is our heaviest hitter. Technically, Alex is our tanky guy. If this is like Persona, where if he goes down and it's game over, then yeah, I'm gonna give the bracelet to him. But as is, we are just going to keep going with the rapid foot. Skill-wise, Banish, 1 point. Banish a soul survivor from the battle to a random floor of the mine dungeon. Like, does that have any strategic applications, I wonder? Food for thought. But anyway, that is it for now, folks. When we pick up next time, we'll be going to Windtown, talking to everyone, moving the storyline forward. I'm the Hero of Light. Thanks for watching.